Hello, this is Candy, and I am your life coach with the heart of a minister, and I want to welcome you to Order Your Steps. And I'm super excited to have a very special guest with me today, and her name is Tisha Winkler. Welcome, Tisha.
Good evening. How you doing?
Good. Great. Well, we're just going to chat. Audience, I want you to open your heart, expand your mind, and we're going to let the Holy Spirit lead the way as we continue this spiritual journey. So again, Tisha, could you just tell us a little bit about from whence you've come? I know that you're a Christian podcaster, but there's a backstory. So kind of share with us the backstory.
Yes, my name is Tisha Winkler. I grew up in Baltimore City all my life. I've been here all my life. I grew up a happy child. I was a happy child. I had a wonderful mother. My father is still living. My mother passed away 5 years ago. So my mother and father, they divorced when I was 9 years old. But even after that point, I think after that point in time of my life, that's when I started to shut down. And like the withdrawal and the separation anxiety, because you live with your mother and your father. And I think that's where the rejection started at an early age. So a lot of things expired, even though my, childhood and everything, even though I had a wonderful, I had a wonderful life growing up, but it's some things that happened in between that caused some distractions, that caused a lot of trauma.
Gotcha.
When I was younger, I had a speech impairment, so I stuttered. And I really think that came from a lot of anxiety within me. So I had that for like 6 years. I had a speech pathologist. They always thought I wouldn't be able to talk, communicate, regular.
Right.
But look at me now.
Wow.
My mom slow down. It was so embarrassing, but
oh my gosh.
God grew me out of that. He delivered me from stuttering. Actually, by growing up, I'm not afraid to share my story. I was molested 3 times during my childhood.
Oh my Lord.
And I think the worst part of it was women.
What?
And at an early age, I was like 6 years when I was younger.
Wow.
So I think I just thank God that I didn't go the other way.
Right. Yeah.
But I think the enemy was just trying to set something up then. But it was like really embarrassing. I really didn't tell my mother until I was 30 years old.
What?
I didn't tell my mother until I was 30 years old.
So you kept that in? You just held all that in?
I held all that in, yes.
Oh my Lord.
But even during that time in my life, I grew up very depressed. I was always depressed all the time. From like age, I think it's really started when I was like 14 years old, up until like some periods now, but it's not as bad as it used to be. But I just thank God that even though those hard periods in my life and the darkest moments of my life, even with my mother passing, God had to send some things in my life immediately to help me go to that next level, because he said I could have just took myself out. I was going to commit suicide.
Wow, that was it's interesting when we look back and look at some of the things that we've gone through. We realize that there was always a purpose on our lives. Yeah. We may not have known exactly what it was, but knowing that God had a plan. So even though he may not have caused bad things to happen to us, he knew they were going to happen. And in many cases, he knew how he would be able to use it for his purpose and for ours as well, and how we could actually be able to be in a position to share our experiences with others, because many times, especially women, we believe we're the only ones, right? Yes. And so we don't share. So that's an amazing story, Tisha. Now, I also understand from you losing your mom, you decided to write a book. Was that in conjunction with? Was that like something to kind of help you during this time?
Actually, this is the funny part. When I was like even though my mom used to take me to the library all the time, even the bookstores, I used to go to bookstore like once a month. But I actually started writing at an early age. I used to put like phrases in people cards. I used to buy blank cards and put my own words in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I started writing at an early age. I had like 400 poems when my mother was alive. I didn't even have the book yet. I didn't start writing my first book until my mother passed away.
What?
That's when God said, now it's time to write the book.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
were your poems about a specific topic, or was it something that was on your mind at the time? Was it kind of helping you to kind of deal with the emotions and
Yeah.
all of the above?
Yeah, it was about relationships, family, trauma, love, love lessons. It had to deal with everything. And even some good things too. I wrote like, and I've been an assistant teacher for like over 16 years. So I would write poems about children, funny poems and jokes and riddles.
That is so interesting. So if I'm not mistaken, if I can check my notes, you've written 3 books. Is it 3 now?
Yes, it's 3 now, and I have one visionary book that I'm in with a group.
Okay. You said a visionary group?
Yes, yeah, her name is Melanie Bonita. She has a book called Dose of Prayer book, and it's like 200 visionary authors in the book.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's a
So
lot of
everybody just
people.
has a page of a prayer inside the book.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So each person has a page.
A page, yes.
Got it. That's a pretty nice sized book for
It
with daily
is, yeah.
devotional. I also saw from that, um, real quick. Um, I think there was something recently with regards to the official Baltimore, Maryland representative. Was that you? That you were kind of honored in that regard as well?
Yes, me and my host Barbie Johnson, we've been podcasting for 3 years now. Actually, we work for a group it's called Newsome Nation. We actually got awards from there. But God opened the door for us through the royal family. They freed the homeless in Washington D.C., the kings and
Oh.
queens, but they made us the representatives for Baltimore City to help up
Oh.
with planetary change.
Wow. That's interesting. I think I jumped topics here for a second because
And that's okay, yeah.
we were talking about your books, but I thought the when you had talked about the visionary book, I wasn't sure if that was in connection to this new award or this honorary position that you were given as well. Um, does all of this kind of tie together with regards to your podcast and I guess your ultimate purpose? Um,
Yes, because for years we've been working in the community anyway,
got you.
outreach, evangelism. So it's like just like new open doors God has just been opening. Because actually, even my host Barbie Johnson, she's been like doing evangelism, outreach, working in the community for over 30 years too.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
absolutely extraordinary. So I'm going to jump back for a second. So tell me, you mentioned that you have the book of poems, and then you have
Yeah.
2 other books that you've done. Tell us about those.
Yes, my first book is I do have it right here.
Uh huh.
uh, yeah, it's called Just a Thought. It's a poetry book, and actually, my host Barbie Johnson, she published my first book. Actually, I was her assistant teacher in the Head Start program. That's actually where we met each other. We've been knowing each other for like 18 years.
Now look at God. I mean, it's amazing how we cross paths with people, and at the time we have no idea what it's going to lead
No
up
idea.
to.
Yeah. And that's a book of poetry. Actually, my first book is most of like you'll see all the trauma, you'll see all the things that I went through. Even my host Barbie Johnson, when she first wrote my book, she asked me because she changed just a little words around, and she said I was gonna have some people jumping off the bridge.
Oh
She had to
no!
tone it down just a little.
Oh my gosh!
Because she said you
Wow!
actually could feel the pain I was going through.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
And my second book is a poetry book too. And it's by Kelly Cruz, my publisher. And actually, this poetry book is about romantic love, because I love love, but it's like mostly the love that I deserve, the love that I experience, mostly giving men and women that they could have a purpose in loving relationships.
Wow. Now that's interesting because you look at, I guess it just shows how God can kind of like transform, what is it, your pain into promise, right?
Yes,
So for you to have books on um the suffering and pain that you went through, but
yeah,
yet be able to come back and talk about love and loving relationships and being able to, even after going through something like that, you deserve to be loved.
yes.
That's an amazing. I mean, how did was there something in life that took you from one place to another, from your pain
Mhm.
to your promise, kind of? Was it something?
I think during that time, even though I was still going through those moments of depression, but in between, God was still sending like I always always wanted to fall in love. That's even from I used to read a lot of God had to deliver me from romance books. It was like too sexual. God said, "No, you got to stop reading all those love books." So yeah, but I
Got you.
love love. I do. I love love.
That's excellent, excellent. So tell us about your podcast, the Bookbreakers. Tell us about that.
Yes, I don't know. God always have a funny story with us. Actually, me and Barbie Johnson, we were going to the mall one day at Security Square Mall. So we were actually buying some shoes. We're looking for some shoes. So we saw some flashing lights. So, being teachers, we thought it was like an arcade center. So we went down there and it wasn't an arcade center. It was called the Coyote Man Show Network, where they have podcast shows, photo shoots, you can do acting. It's a lot of things that you can do there. So we went there and the Coyote Man asked us if we want a photo shoot, and we signed up for a photo shoot, which we was going to take in the next 2 weeks. But during that time, he found out that Barbie was a publisher and I was an author, and he said, "We have podcast shows here. Would you like to be on a podcast?" And during that time, I ain't gonna say a lie. I didn't know what no podcast was. I just knew it was like, dealing with broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
So God is very funny and he's very unique. We started podcasting after 1 month, and we was on the Coyote Man Show Network. Actually, Barbie was on there for like 2 years. I was on there for three because we got in an argument. but God said that the Coyote Man Show Network, when we had the podcasting shows, it was actually like on Roku TV, Fire TV. God said that was our training ground for training for the podcast. But now
Gotcha.
we're doing it on our own now.
So what is it? What is your primary theme? Is it about authors? Since it's, well, let me just let you answer the question. What is the underlying theme of your podcast? I mean, what was it? How was it birthed? You told me how it was birthed from the Coyote
Yeah.
Man, but I mean, what topics and things are you talking about on your podcast?
Well, I know He used foolish things to confine the wise.
Mm-hmm.
I know our show is called podcast, the Bookbreakers, and we do interview publishers and authors, but we also interview pastors, leaders, people in the community, movie producers, actors, gospel singers, entrepreneurs. We do it all.
Wow, do you ever? My gosh. So is that how you let's see, there's a couple of awards here that I saw. You had, is it Podcaster of the Year?
Yes, we have Podcast of the Year for the World Newsome Awards this year.
So tell us about the World Newsome Awards. What is that about?
Actually, we met Dr. Frederick Newsome, I guess about 3 years ago, about 4 years ago. And actually, he used to be on the board of the Grammy Awards and the Stellar Awards.
Hmm.
But he said he wanted to, God told him about a change that God wanted him to do and go in another direction. And God took him off the board of the Grammys and the Stellar Awards, and he started his own award show called the Newsome Awards. And he's been doing that over 25 years, where he gives different artists, Christian artists, an opportunity to win rewards, because a lot of people, that they have a hard time getting on the Stellar Awards and Grammys.
Hmm.
and they're able to, receive the recognition that they need to get.
Okay. So does he have a particular, I mean, is there something in particular that he's looking for with regards to who gets awards and, how they're nominated and that kind of thing? Or is it
Actually,
just
they want to
any?
see the work behind it.
Got you.
They want to see you doing the work and provide the details too.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Is it primary also community oriented? Since you and Barbie have been working in the community so many years, is it more community oriented or just other?
Actually, it's more community oriented because I'm not going to sit here and lie. Ever since we've been connected with Dr. Newsome and the Newsome Nation of the Kings and Queens, we have come in contact with so many people.
Got it.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. That's extraordinary. And I see one more, and apparently there's countless ones that you've gotten, but I also see the podcast film festival award. So was there a film involved as well?
No, actually, we were nominated. Someone nominated us,
Okay.
and to God be the glory. We just got it 2 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh! So I guess it's based on your podcast. Is that what
It's based on the podcast and it's in the arts. Yes.
got you? Boy, you've had an extraordinary, let's say an extraordinary journey. My gosh!
And you know what I'm laughing?
What?
I'm laughing because when I was growing up, I never received anything.
See, God's timing.
Yeah.
God's timing is amazing. But again, it still goes back to you being purposed all your life. You just didn't know it.
Yeah.
And now you get to walk in it. And what does he say? How does it say that what you've done in private, he will reward you publicly? And so all of the things that you've been through, all the things that you've endured, now you get to be rewarded openly. So that's amazing. That's amazing. So where do you go from here? I mean, what do you have on the horizon? What are your thoughts on any special projects that you've got going on? I mean, what's ahead for Tisha?
Yes, actually, I've been in early childhood for over 16 years. I actually have 4 more classes for my AA degree. Actually, I want to complete that, but actually, I really want to go to school for journalism and marketing because I do also on the side that God has blessed me with promoting. I love promoting people, promotions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Well, if there, so you don't, so basically what is there something specific that you want to try to accomplish once you have your degree?
Yes, actually, because when I was at the Coyote Man Show Network, I was on the promotion part too, and I actually received a reward from the Newsome Nation for Promoter of the Year last year.
Wow.
So I love promoting people. Like different people will call us now, even Barbie. They're asking for like different guests, different gospel singers, and if they need a guest, we'll send them guests. I actually want to be a PR one day, a promoter.
That's interesting. So what is your process? How is it through your podcast? I mean, what do you actually do to promote artists and whatever? Is it social media network kind of a thing? Is it, how do you go about marketing someone to that degree?
Actually, I think it's all above: social media, communicating with others, staying in different connections with people, and being nosy and getting some information.
I'm sure that's the fun part.
That's the fun part, yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, Tisha, this has actually been an amazing time to just sit and chat with you. You're an extraordinary woman, and I really pray that, well, I know God is just going to continue to push you forward in all that He's purposed for you in life. So how do people get in contact with you? How do they get to listen to your podcast? What's your contact information with regards to your promotion and marketing? I will be adding your picture and bio and links to the podcast description. But in the meantime, did you want to share how people can reach you?
Yes, people can reach me on Facebook, Tisha Winkler or Barbie Johnson. Actually, our podcast is on. We put it on Facebook, but it's on YouTube, and I'm on TikTok. I'm also on Instagram, and
Okay.
you can reach me at Tisha Winkler 57gmail.com if you want to purchase a book.
Oh, excellent. Are you on Amazon as well?
Actually, yes, the Hopeful Romantic and my third book, My Journey Here Was Not Easy. Both of those books are on Amazon.com.
Excellent, excellent. So before you leave, is there anything that you would like to share with my audience as they move forward in their endeavors?
Oh, yes, indeed. I always like to give encouraging words. I'm actually the Bookbreakers podcast with Barbie and Tisha. We always say our slogan. We encourage you to follow your dreams. And if God didn't allow us to accomplish and to fulfill our dreams right now, we would not be where we're at right now. It took a lot of sacrifice. It took a lot of tears. It took a lot of loss.
Mm,
So always be encouraged that even when you get to that journey of life, when you see those signs, it's not the time to give up, but it's a time to push through the pain and you will be very successful at the end of the day.
amen and amen. Well, Order Your Steps audience, I'm sure that we gave you some information, inspiration, and a lot of encouragement. And we hope that you will take time to leave us a comment or two at Order Your Steps. Lastly, I too am on Instagram, so check out Tisha and myself for, I'm sure, snippets of encouragement throughout the week. So again, have an amazing week. And we'll see you next time right here at Order Your Steps. Bye-bye for now. And thanks again, Tisha, for joining us.
Thank you. You have a wonderful night.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.